What do you mean?
So I try to walk beside of it. Put me out in the bush.
Yeah, it took us about 7 days to drive that whole drive, which, it was lovely, but I did not want to drive again for a very long time after that. My friend who drove with me, so it takes me about 8 hours to drive home from my, university to, Metro Detroit, and so I was like, oh, no problem, I can do, 12 hours driving, and then, my friend can drive the rest, do a 6 to 12 hour shift too. Ends up my friend can only drive 2 hours at a time. And so, it was fun. Okay, we're gonna stop here for a second. Yeah, awesome. Okay. Welcome everybody to the Chilkoot Trail. If you already forgot, my name is Emily. No problems if you want to ask again. While we're hiking along, if you have any questions or anything like that, please just let me know. But I'm going to go over a couple safety things before we get hiking. So as you can already tell, this is a pretty steep climb we're about to have. So it'll be about 30 minutes up, 30 minutes down, and then an hour on a flat section. But we're going to be taking our time. It has been raining, so that means that this stuff is going to be super slick and wet. And so I'm just going to ask that you really make sure you have your footing before you move. There'll be certain areas where I will actually tell you where to place your feet because there's some rocks that look like they're solid but they're not. But we're just going to take it nice and slow. I'd rather have us go slow on the up and the down and then walk a little bit faster on the flat. But it's not too bad at all. And so some other things about the trail, I'm just going to ask that you don't touch anything along the way. The trees and stuff that you see on the trail, use those to help you kind of walk around totally fine. But reason being is, do you see this kind of plant right here? Have you guys heard of Devil's Club yet? So Devil's Club, this looks like a great plant, right? You turn on the other side, and it's all thorns and needles and stuff like that. It's almost the equivalent to putting your hand in, fiberglass. It's not awesome at all.
It's like a rose bush.
Yeah, it does. And so there are some, we're not going to be eating anything off the trail either. And so there are some edible plants and stuff like that. I'll point them out to you, and all the plants that I'll point out, I'll touch first and then I'll pass them to you guys so we're not touching anything. Some other things are, I am Wilderness First Responder certified, so I do have a medical kit on me. If you get any bumps, scrapes, cuts, or bruises, let me know. If you have any time-sensitive medication, let me know too, and we can take care of all those things. I do have water on me and cups, so no worries about that. And last but not least, you're probably wondering what this is. This is bear spray. It's very unlikely that we will see a bear, but in the event that we do, no one's going to run off. We're all going to stay together as a group. The bear is going to be more afraid of us than we are of him or her. And so we'll just all stay together in a group and stuff like that. But the chances of that happening are very, very slim. Cool. Any questions or anything?
So this is the historical trail that the would-be miners
Yes.
walked up.
Yep. So we are going to be walking 2 miles actually on the Chilkoot Trail, which is the main trail. There's a pretty, as I'm hitting everything, there's a pretty cool sign up here that actually has all the stampeders in a row kind of hiking this trail. So I'll talk about that.
What elevation are we now?
So right now we are at sea level. We're going to be going up to about 358 feet, and then we'll be going back down to sea level. So that's kind of our little incline. The actual summit point of this trail is 3,950 feet. So that's like the pass over to Canada. So we'll get hiking. Interesting thing, if you're wondering about all these steps right now, the Alaskan prison system actually sends their misdemeanor crime or misdemeanor jail people or
inmates.
Yeah, jailmates here to do their community service. So they built these steps that we're going up right now. It's
a good job for them.
I'm sorry?
It's a good job for them.
Exactly. I thought about going to prison for a little bit too.
So you've been hiking this about every day?
Yep, just about. Yesterday, we didn't have any tours, so not yesterday. I ended up sleeping the whole day, which is really nice. We've been really busy, and I also just got done with training, so it's been, yeah, a lot of fun. I think I've hiked this section of the trail, so the 2 miles, I think I've done about 60 times already. But I love it. It's so beautiful.
It is.
It never gets old.
Right, I'm sure.
Okay. Today is the 9th. So what I'm doing right now is the National Park Service asked that everyone who hikes the trail that they just register and stuff like that. Yeah. I'll wait till everyone's up here to kind of talk about these pictures we have. How's everyone feeling so far? Okay? Yep. We'll take a lot of breaks on the uphill portion, so just so you know. And there's a lot of cool stuff to point out anyways on this part, so I was like taking our time kind of here. So I just registered, and this is just for the trail system. They know how many people are hiking the trail, maintenance, stuff like that. So some cool pictures. We actually have a map of the entire trail. So this is that Chilkoot trail I was talking about right there. And then the other trail that you could take is this White Pass trail over here. So Dai, that town we just passed by where it's all the green and stuff like that, this is what it used to look like in the height of the gold rush. So if you want to take a look, like you can see a ton of things. That's that 2 mile long dock I was talking about right there. And so there's nothing there anymore. It's just completely gone. And so a reason why I keep calling the gold miners stampeders, because if you look over here, that is a line of back-to-back people going up over the summit. And so stampeders, that's where I kind of get that name from, because they all look like they're just in a line.
And they never found gold.
Nope. And so actually, so the gold is still 500 or 600 miles still north of us. And so a lot of people, once they got there, didn't find any gold at all. I think, excuse me, in the height of the gold rush, they found about $5 million worth of gold there, which if you really think about it, it's not that much. Back then, yeah, that's a ton of money. It's nothing now. And so it was actually 10 years before the gold rush is when they got the big bulk of gold from up here. Yeah, awesome. Okay, we'll keep heading on up. This is high bush cranberry here. All of this right here. Doesn't taste like a normal cranberry. It's really, really tart. Like, not good tart.
Do you do the float portion of the trip too?
Yep, I'll be with you guys the whole time. Yeah, so we are in about a month of training before we get to do anything. So like we learn how to hike, how to float, how to raft, did a lot of like emergency scenarios, and that is perfect. Yep, just like that. Perfect. So I haven't talked at all yet about what people have to go in the trail. So the Canadian government, since this trail does cross an international border, the government requires that the stampeders bring a year's worth of supplies. The reason they asked for that was because they were nervous that people would die in famine up in the Yukon. And so people on this trail would have to carry 100-pound packs every time they would go up so they would hike this trail for about 3 to 4 months, carrying 100-pound packs to get all of their goods to Lake Bennett. So just think about having 100 pounds on your back right now.
It's easier ways to make a living or find your fortune or something.
Yep, to kind of use this rock as a guide rail.
I guess the only thing we lost on this trip is weight.
Right, there you go.
They weren't even on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
Can slide
I'm hoping
down.
this takes a little bit of breath.
Sometimes when it gets really rainy, all of this turns pretty much into a waterfall. I always like taking this section slow. Especially with the rain, I don't want to risk having anyone trip and fall. No. So we'll stop at this tree here. So this is our potato chip bark, which means this one is the Sitka spruce. Wow. So potato chips, you kind of see how you can actually see how it looks like potato chips now? Yeah. So
And
this-
that Sitka,
Sitka spruce.
Sitka.
no, spell the Sitka.
Sitka, like S-I-K-T-A. Sitka.
Oh, like the town.
Like the town. Yep.
Okay.
Sitka spruce. I think
All
it's
right.
named after that town because they have some of the biggest ones. So this guy's probably about 200 to 300 years old, and I'm pretty sure the ones actually in Sitka are like something like 500 to 600 years old. So that's why Sitka spruce. So interesting thing about this tree, if we're looking at it right now, kind of see how none of these branches have any like pine needles or anything on them. It's because they're not getting any sunlight, so they're actually not helping the tree at all. So this tree will actually break off the branches that they're not using. So if we walk by, like a couple days ago, there was one there and it's broken off, probably one of these on the ground. But he or she will actually break off its own limbs. We don't need it. Super interesting. So, and then potato chip, you drink it with your beer, Sitka spruce.
There we go.
Yep, exactly. Okay.
Removable armed potato chips.
So we got a little stream crossing up here. Just watch your step. went like classroom sessions to learn everything. It's a lot of fun. But it's a lot to take in too. That's why they kind of let you pick your areas of topics that you like to be informed in. Okay, so we'll stop here.
I'm a little confused.
Yeah, go ahead.
They found 0 gold here, or they found $5 million worth of gold?
They found no gold here. The gold that they
Oh,
found
it's all
was
up in Yukon.
Yep, all up in Dawson City.
Okay.
Yep, so still,
And that was only $5 million?
yeah, pretty, well, like before, I think in total it was something like a couple $100 million. But, so gold rushers, a big thing about the gold rushers is once you find your gold, you tell other people where it is. The first probably about 10 to 15 people who came up here searching for gold didn't tell anybody where they found it on purpose, because so then they could go back. Actually, the first, there's 3 men who first came to Skagway first, and they made really good relations with the native Chilkoot people. And so the Chilkoots used this trading trail and actually took the people, the white men, to the gold. And so the men mined the gold, and then instead of them just taking the gold and like going back, they gave the gold to the natives and asked in return that the natives would teach them everything about the land. So then those 3 men learned everything pretty much about, like, took a lot more of the medicinal plants and brought them back down to the lower 48 to try to like fix scurvy and polio, all of that stuff. They were trying just to get more information about the medicinal plants. It's really interesting. While we're on the topic of plants, I'm going to talk about succession of the forest. So what that means is, like, what was here first, what's going to be here next, what's going to take over in the end. And so southeastern Alaska, we only have about an inch or 2 of topsoil. So a lot of things just grow wherever. As we can see right here, this tree, which I think this big root is this tree back here, it's literally just growing on a boulder here. It's kind of cool. So the first thing we have in the forest is moss. If you can kind of look around, we see moss is everywhere. Moss is kind of the covering blanket of this forest. The next we have the alder trees. So good, easy way to identify alder trees here. They're the only trees that actually have leaves on them. So alder trees are those guys over there. And then behind me, oh wait, no, actually behind you, we have the Sitka spruce tree. And so how you can tell it's a Sitka spruce is you see the green tips on the pine needles. That's how you can tell. And also, if you look at the bark, it looks like potato chips. And so when you're drinking your Sitka spruce beer, you like to have potato chips with it. So potato chip bark, Sitka spruce tree. And then the last tree to kind of take over the forest is this one right here. And so it kind of looks like strips of bacon. Westerners, Americans like bacon. Western hemlock tree is this tree. Yeah. And so the Sitka spruce is actually, I'm pretty sure the Sitka spruce is the state tree of Alaska, I think. I should know that. I think it is. Yeah. So these trees will end up taking over the forest in the next probably 50 to 60 years. So, yeah. Everyone feeling good? Awesome. Okay, we'll keep going up.
This was probably not that easy to build.
No, I definitely don't think so. I think they brought in these rocks too. So they had to carry them all the way up here.
Better than sitting in a jail cell, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I like your pace.
Oh, thank
That's
you.
good.
Yeah. It's also nice on these rainy days too.
Yeah.
You don't want to be running up this stuff.
No. It's beautiful back here.
I know.
Wow. Looks like a fairy tale.
Oh, it keeps getting better and better too. I know. The rain also helps make everything very vibrant green. And so, I like all that. Well, actually, once we get onto a flat section, we have more kind of green brush and stuff like that. It'll actually grow to be like 5 to 6 more feet tall. So like by the end of the summer, everything's like as tall as me, which is really cool. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna talk a little bit about this type of moss. So this is called sphagnum moss, what I have in my hand right here. And so during World War II, they were really nervous about running out of cotton for like bandages and stuff like that. So they actually sent a troop up here to collect this moss in case they ran out of cotton for the war. And so they were going to use this to kind of bandage up wounds and stuff like that. It's very, very absorbent and warm. Also, native Tlingits would use it to like wrap their babies in blankets and stuff like that, which is really cool. You want to pass that around? Another interesting thing about this moss, so say you're out here and you like got stranded, you didn't have a sleeping bag, anything like that, you can actually go up to this moss, rip it off the ground like a carpet, and then use it as a blanket around you. And so, very interesting. That's like sphagnum moss. And then kind of the other moss we see, like, this kind of sphagnum moss is kind of this more, like, yellowy, and then we kind of have this lighter one. This is just called reindeer.
That's okay.
Lichen. And so, looks like a reindeer, I guess. I don't see it. Yep, so that's reindeer and then sphagnum moss. Yeah. Okay. We will keep moving on. have you do is put one hand on that rock and then step your feet over here.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to switch your pole,
Yeah.
perfect. Get hand on the rock and then feet right down there. Nice. And then just kind of watch your step as you go down too. You can use that kind of rock as a guide rail down.
Becky.
They come up and they put
Cottonwood
the
tree.
bark, and then they suck out the sap. So, and I was gonna say, if you're hearing something, that's probably her. It's either her or a hummingbird or the two that we're hearing right now. That's ruby-breasted sapsucker.
Okay.
Yeah. So, way to identify them, if you see any birds flying around, they have a really, really big ruby chest. So like almost like a burgundy red on their chest. No, so the woodpeckers, their actual head is red. This bird, the head is black and then the chest is red. So that's how you can identify them. Oh, what color is the beak? It's black. Oh, so no. So a little bit different. So woodpecker beaks, they actually like drill and make holes. These guys just, they have a really small beak and they just kind of like stick it in and it's circled. So the beak is actually this shape. They just stick it in.
And what's the name of that bird again?
The ruby-breasted sapsucker. try saying that 7 times.
I'll ask them what they call them.
Yeah, and so you can actually tell the trail like that I used to hike on would be in the river right now. So we're getting kind of close to the river. I bet you in another 5 to 10 years this will be on the other side of these cottonwood trees.
So they use their feet to connect that way?
Yeah.
So this color is glacial silt. It's beautiful.
down into the raft. Another thing you might hear me say, which is highly unlikely, but I do have to go over it, is high side. So what that means is that our raft is coming up onto the high side of an object, and we're going like this. What I'm going to have you guys do is I'll either yell right or left, and I'll have everyone get over that side. Our weight will equal out, and then we'll kind of bounce off and keep on rafting down. In the unlikely event that you do find yourself in the river, what I'm going to have you do is you're going to lean back kind of like you're in a, what's it called, a lazy boy chair. And so I will also point positive and I will tell you where to go, or I will actually come up to you and pick you up and back into the boat. Super unlikely, but just we have to go over it just in case. A couple others. Up here we might be able to see it, but potentially not. Oh no, we can't see it. There's actually a glacier that sits right up there, and that's where this river is coming from. And so you guys can ask questions and stuff like that, and I'll point stuff out along the way. If I don't respond, I promise I'm not ignoring you. I'm just trying to row our boat. Yeah. And the rain is clearing up a little bit, which is nice. At the end of our raft, there will be cookies and hot chocolate and tea. So if you're getting a little chilly, no worries. We'll be warming up soon in about 30 minutes.
The gin's in August.
Yes. Yeah, and then I was to say the gin is actually in this bucket right here. No, I'm kidding. I wish. It's a big bear. So up here on River Right, we have our first eagle's nest. That eagle's nest actually hasn't been inhabited for about 3 years. So if eagles don't do well in their nest, they'll build a new one. So we haven't seen anybody in that one for about 3 years now.
It's huge.
It is huge. Apparently the biggest one is in Florida, and it's about 2,000 pounds. We have people from Florida here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say you might
Four
know a
of
little
you
bit
at
more
least.
than I about that one.
Would you say the rain was letting up?
I think it is. I mean, than before, it definitely is. Yeah, so this river is about 41 degrees if you're curious. Awesome. It's still beautiful. I love the fog on the trees. And so up here, coming up around this corner, we have our next eagle's nest on, oh, and we got an eagle. Do you see him in the tree up there?
Yes.
So about 5 trees away to the right where that eagle is, that's where the nest is. So also kind of look around the trees, you might see, that looks like the male. Yeah. So the females are one more.
Went to school in the Front Range. We grew up in Buena Vista.
Okay, so we're gonna lift up on 3 together. Remember to lift up with your legs, not your back. Remember to keep a straight arm like a suitcase. Right here. Okay, so, yeah, got our handles. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Beautiful.
We're gonna go right over this rock here. You're gonna hear some scraping, and that's okay. These boats are used to it.
We have hot chocolate and cookies that we are about to partake in.
What?
We have hot chocolate and cookies, I said.
Who are you talking to?
The video.
Oh, this video.
Yeah.
See how lovely I am?
Beautiful, beautiful.
far.
Yep, 80. Yeah. So, another really cool thing to go watch is the Days of 98 show, and that gives a whole historic, it's like a theater play about the brothel and how big of a role it had in the town, and stuff like that. And so that's the Days of 98 show.
I'm sure it's quite popular.
It is. I've never actually been, but I really want to go on my next day off. If it's not a nice day and it's raining, I'll probably go and see it. This sun's gonna come out today. I can feel it.
It's wonderful that you're so optimistic. It really helps. So.
Yeah. I like to be, it helps my day go smooth too, instead of being upset about it being rainy. I like the rain though, it never has bugged me